Welcome, I'm here today with Sally and Harry and Sally, which way around do you say it?
When Harry met Sally, always.
Who are our wonderful partners from Dramatic Difference, who we have this wonderful relationship between Singapore, Hong Kong, and our mostly European-ish kind of bit in Holos and America. And we want to talk about kind of the way that partnership can really work. So I guess we've only just formalized the partnership, but the relationship's been going on for a long time. And this is kind of a model for how we can, and companies can, collaborate with one another more effectively. And you don't need to buy people to buy companies to create collaboration, and you can achieve this kind of growth through trust and relationships or something like that. I think that's kind of what we want to talk about.
Sally, I think it's about the whole being more than the sum of its parts, isn't it? It's to use a slightly tired expression. So the idea that when you come together as, fiercely independent brands that are proud of the work that they've done and proud of the markets and clients and ideas that they've had, but you choose to be intensely collaborative, there's actually a lot of talent, commitment, and energy in that pot together.
Yeah. And I think if you consider practitioners in this space, so facilitators, coaches, learning designers, etc., we're all different. We all have our unique set of skills and experience. And I think the ability to sort of come together and leverage that collective wisdom is hugely powerful.
And I mean, I think very often the barrier to these things, as in so many cases, is this combination of trust and vulnerability. If you're going to go into a relationship with anyone, it requires trust, which requires us to make ourselves vulnerable or make our organization vulnerable to someone else. And Sally, you and I have known each other for quite a long time. I often tell the story of how we met in Singapore, and I was delighted and inspired by the way, because at the time, the program we were running, we were required to put posters up all over the place. And your approach to putting posters up, I absolutely loved, because it was sort of functionally complete, but also showed signs of resistance.
I don't cut the sellotape.
But Harry, you've come into this relationship rather, or separately, differently, and I just wonder what your experience has been like of sort of having formed that relationship with Sally and got that trust going there, for then Sally to say, oh, you also need to get into this relationship. How's that been? Has that felt uncomfortable or at any time?
Absolutely not. I'm trying to think of some words that would sort of best describe it. I would say generous, warm, energizing. There's a lot of positive energy and intent from everyone you sort of come across in Holos, whether it's someone more at the back end or a design partner, or you're talking about a project that's about to go live, or there's a sniff of an opportunity. I think there's definitely an air of generosity and collective wisdom and collective opportunity to be had.
And I would add, I think, and Neil and I obviously have a total love fest going on, and we can be quite fierce, can't we?
We can be quite fierce.
So for me, and I say this always, the word trust and the word truth have the same root. And the other thing that I love about kind of building this partnership is that in the spirit of generosity and shared wisdom and all of those good things, there is a willingness to take a deep breath and tell the truth. And whether that's the truth about how I'm feeling vulnerable, I'm feeling threatened, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling delighted, whatever it is, but also that's not going to work for me. You know, we need to think about a different way, and that's never an end point. That's always a start point of, okay, let's explore that. Where could we go with that? And that's something I really really appreciate.
And I suppose that brings us back to psychological safety. And of course, we teach all of this stuff, but I think that there's a bit here which is about our own commitment to role modeling psychological safety and trust and collaboration and interdependence and all these things, and really genuinely role modeling it with real intent. So, you know, you're not going to have those tough conversations in a relationship which doesn't, or at least if you do try to have those relationships in a relationship which doesn't have sufficient psychological safety and doesn't have sufficient trust, it's going to turn into conflict. Whereas I think, as you say, each time either of us has got fierce with each other, there's a bit of a sort of, okay, no, we need to think this through. As you say, it's a start point. It's a start of another level of conversation.
Yeah.
And I think we've been able so far to face into any of these challenges that have come up in quite successfully.
Yeah, I'm always mindful of that kind of the psychological model of, you know, you can be triggered into adult, parent, or child. And I think we all have those moments of trigger, but I think kind of the skill underpinning of being a group with the training that we have, but also the mindset underpinning is, oh, look, I'm being triggered into my rebellious teenager or whatever it is, or my scolding parent, and I actually want to try and step into this conversation, take a deep breath and hold it in an adult to adult place. So I really I enjoy the learning component of it, and the kind of applied learning component of it as well. I think it's really healthy.
So there was a bit. So I think there's a bit here which is the introduction. So Sally, you introduced Harry and I to one another, and I was from that introduction, I was very predisposed to Harry's a good guy to work with. Of course he is. If Sally's recommending him, that's great.
Yeah.
And hopefully that worked the other way around as well.
Well, you know, he's very tolerant.
But I think that's so. I think that, you know, in forming any partnership, that introduction is very important, isn't it? Or how you start that relationship is very important.
Yeah.
What other thoughts do we have about any kind of business partner? How you form any kind of business partnership? What are the things we need to look out for if you're setting up a partnership or a collaboration between two organizations?
I think commitment, competence, alignment on, you know, what's the shared goal that we all have, why are we all here, and we might all have different reasons, but as long as there's alignment, you know, you can make it work.
It's a really interesting point, that, because the relationship, our relationship is mediated by the client work, isn't it? So we can be friends without the client work, but actually the collaboration is based on doing client work together. So that, which is the bit that gives it the purpose, as you say, Harry.
And I think even beyond perhaps not beyond, prior to the delivery, and this is a piece that, you know, we've all been dancing with, is there's the joy of being at the front of a room together, or developing a design together, being part of that delivery team together. But I think there's also this powerful choice that there is more available, and that if we, to Harry's word, generously bring who we know, what we've learned about a market or you know, an approach, what lands in a particular place or with a particular industry or client group, and we kind of collide those ideas, that then all kinds of interesting sparks come out of that. And you know, we're a small business, largely by choice, right? So we love to do deep bespoke work. We've always been focused only on the Asian region. We've never really sought to be global or to land those kinds of things. And it would be very easy to be quite defensive of that. It's a lot of years of investment, of living in places and, you know, building networks and so on. And part of the discussion that I found really interesting in the past few months has been, what can we bring to each other that takes us beyond? So there's no threat to what is, it's all about what isn't yet, right? And that's interesting.
Sorry, Harry.
I would say we've often said, you know, there's enough pie, you know, and we all win together when we share the pie, or we pursue things together, the pie will grow. I think, you know, just in my observation and, you know, the interactions I've had with people in Holos, I think everyone sort of has that kind of mindset, right? I don't get a sense of competition or protectionism, which I think would run counter to, you know.
I think that's really interesting, both of you are saying. So I think that the negotiation that we did, and we did a fairly robust negotiation, was about ensuring that we did protect what is. We took care to recognize what is for both of us. It wasn't like we sort of were glib about that or sort of made assumptions about it. And then you know, recognizing that actually if we collaborate, and just to be clear for people, the collaboration is fundamentally about serving different geographies. You've got a fantastic team in Asia. We've got a fantastic team, mainly Europe and the US. And it's really, how do we serve, how do we collaborate to serve global clients?
Correct.
We have a few global clients. You potentially have global clients, and it's a two-way street on that. And exactly as you say, that honesty to discuss what is and how we protect that, and then the enthusiasm and excitement to collaborate more broadly.
Yeah, and there really has been enthusiasm, you know. So within our Asia faculty, we've got people from mainland China, we've got people from Australia, we've got people from Japan, Cambodia, you know, and they are genuinely excited about collaborating with teams from, you know, Scandinavia, France, the UK, whatever. Everybody is genuinely excited about that idea of what will I learn also within the delivery team and the design team that I work with, beyond even the work to the clients. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you both very much. Really lovely.
Such a pleasure.
Long may it continue.
Yeah.
Yes, may we partner our way into the future and partner with even more people out there, right? I think it's a beautiful alliance of people with a great deal of interdependence available to them.
A model for the world.